What's up guys? Welcome back by this new video. Today doing the Great League, and today going to test this little thing out. Poipole. Poipole, poison type. And I used Poison Jab, Fell Stinger and Sludge Bomb on it. And it will be assisted by Greninja and Toxapex. And Greninja with Water Shuriken, Night Slash and Hydro Cannon, and Toxapex with Poison Jab, Brine and Sludge Wave. So let's hop into the first match. Into the first match. And I'm really excited to test that Poipole out because it probably will be amazing. Against Misi Light, we're starting in a bad lead, Greninja into Shadow Dragonair. I'm switching straight into my Toxapex. Opponent somehow stays in, I don't know why. Opponent, I thought it will be in Body Slam, but he goes for an Aqua Tail that I don't really know why. But I'm just going straight up for the Sludge Wave, and opponent hoped for a bait, but I don't bait. And yeah, that's just a free win because he committed first already. So hopping into the second match. Right now we are going against Salam, Greninja into a Munchlax. This is quite a good lead because Munchlax could have that Baldos attack that's weak to both of my poison types, so I'm going straight for Hydro Cannon. Most people don't expect that, and opponent switches into a Wigglytuff, so I'm responding with my Toxapex. And Toxapex does quite some damage here with those poison jabs. I'm going here for Brine, hope that the opponent will shield it, but he isn't shielding, and he is throwing his Munchlax right now. I'm just letting it go. Toxapex is still one of the bulkiest ones, so I can tank the boulders without problems. And then I'm making it here to a Brine that KOs that Munchlax. An opponent in the bag has a Shadow Houndoom. So I'm just going for the Brine. Opponent has to shield, otherwise he's dead. And because I already could have won it with my Greninja, I just decided to throw in Poipole, just testing out how it does in the first battle. And it did quite well because it has that Fell Stinger move that can boost his attack, his poison jabs. And they will do massive damage, more like some charms. Like just normal effective charms attacks if you boost one time, so that's great. Right now we're having the Dream lead in the third match against the Jellicent. I'm going for a very nice Night Slash. That quite hurts the opponent. I'm letting it go, it will be Shadow Ball. It will definitely hurt, but that's fine. Opponent is switching into a Mandibuzz. I decided to throw one Hydro Cannon to at least deal some massive damage, or at least for a Mandibuzz. Then switched out into a Toxapex. Opponent will right now go for a back-to-back Aerial Ace, but problem is Aerial Ace isn't still a good move against the Toxapex. But secondly went for a foul play. It's quite interesting. I'm going here for a Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave quite destroys the Mandibuzz. Opponent throws in an Obstagoon that I didn't expect it. But yeah, I can just let those Night Slashes go. At least one. Then I'm making it to another Sludge Wave. Opponent nicely shielded it. I still really wanted to keep my Greninja alive, so I'm just letting this Night Slash go and switch out into Poipole. And because Fell Stinger is super effective against that Obstagoon, I feel very comfortable. But at this point I didn't know how bulky Poipole was, so I decided to shield the first Night Slash. Opponents switched out into Jellicent. I can make it to a CMP, winning the CMP and making it to the Night Slash that will KO that Jellicent. And the only Pokemon that's in the bag is that Obstagoon, and I decided to go just for the Sludge Bomb to be able to KO him without real problems. So that went perfectly. Right now into the fourth match. We already have 3 wins, so yeah, it's a quite good team, or at least let's say people do not have the best Pokemon right now, and these are early battles, so they are most of the time very easily. So opponent goes into Primeape. I didn't expect that opponent would throw already a close combat. That was pretty interesting. And opponent goes just in a Fracture. So that's why I decided to go for a Sludge Wave here. Opponent shielded it. That was very uncomfortable for me. I decided to just let's go because I couldn't do much. It was just only an Aqua Tail. I could still go for that little Brine attack. That at least give me a shield. So at this point I just could throw in my Poipole. Still didn't really know the tankiness of Poipole, so I decided to shield that Aqua Tail and went for the entire Poison Jab farm down. Opponent brought back his Primeape. I'm going for Sludge Bomb. That just instantly KOs that one. And in the back there's just an Kanto Ninetales. So my Hydro Cannon from my Greninja can just easily KO that. And it continues into a very nice win for me. Right now into the last match of the first streak. We can make it to an entire streak win. So I'm hoping to get that. But right now, Greninja into a Furfrou. I expected, while this Furfrou was alive, that she would have that new scent attack on Furfrou, but it wasn't. So yeah, I decided to just Night Slash her down and see how it goes. But unfortunately, she could just made it to a move, and I don't really know the moveset of Furfrou, so yeah, I just decided to shield. But I didn't need it to shield. But still, early battles, weird Pokemon, we will see like Dispersion. Decided to go for a Night Slash that will be shielded very nicely. Switching then into Poipole. I decided to shield this one. Still didn't know how bulky Poipole was. I decided to go for the Fell Stinger to boost my Poison Chip damage, and then wanted to go on a CMP, but unfortunately I lost it. But yeah, decided not another Fell Stinger to KO the opponent. And opponent in the back had a Pokemon that I really wanted to get shiny, a shiny Bombardier. She shielded it, but look at how beautiful that shiny one is. But still, Poipole, look at that amount of damage that Poipole did. I know Bombardier isn't the tankiest one. Still have to make a video about that one someday, but yeah. I made a beautiful catch. That was a little mistake from my side, because, yeah, I don't know why, but at least I can just Poison Jab down all of those Pokemon and winning this match. And that makes a very nice streak win. And guys, if you want to see more of this amazing content with my new video format things, definitely press that like and subscribe button, because I really want to make it this month to 400 subscribers. It will be pretty hard goal to make, but I'm sure we can make it with your support and with my video quality or quantity, I don't know. We can definitely make it. So right now into the second streak. Going into the first match of the second streak against Tendorelans or something like that. Greninja into a double. That was a pretty awful Pokemon for my entire team. So yeah, I decided to just stay in and just throw in an Hydro Cannon. That did okay amount of damage. But at the end of this battle, I make a huge mistake. So opponent throws in an Altaria. I'm just going for my Toxapex. Toxapex can pretty easily encounter an Altaria here and there. You can tank all those moves. Deciding to go here for a Sludge Wave. That opponent somehow didn't shield it. I don't know why, but I decided to let that Sky Attack go because I didn't really need it. And just went for a little bit more farm. Here I decided to just go for a Night Slash on that Altaria. The opponent shielded it, so I wanted to snipe him off with my Poison Jab from my Poipole. Here I should have gone for a Sludge Bomb instead of a Fell Stinger. So yeah, hoping that this move will be the Earthquake, but it wasn't. So yeah, I decided to go for another Fell Stinger here. Maybe to get still a shield from the opponent. This time, luckily enough, I got a shield. But the problem was opponent had an Earthquake loaded, so that KO'd me. But right now, I made it to a back-to-back Night Slash, but then I didn't realize I had 1 HP. I could just go for the Hydro Cannon and KO the double. I forgot at this point how much HP that double had. If I went for the Hydro Cannon, I would have won it. So, very huge mistake from my side. But yeah, right now into the second match of the second streak against Timno. Going Greninja into Alolan Sandslash. Was a very nice lead because my backline is very weak to Alolan Sandslash, so I had to stay in here. Going for Night Slash. That did okay amount of damage. Opponent will go for Drill Run. I should have shielded this one, but that's not a problem. Right now, I don't know why I went for an Hydro Cannon. I could have gone for a Night Slash. But yeah, that's fine. Opponent went for my champ. I decided to go for a Toxapex. Because Toxapex still the tankiness, and my champ cannot deal a huge amount of damage against poison types. So I was very happy. I went here for that very nice Sludge Wave. Maybe I could go for Brine Bait, but didn't really matter. Opponent went for Cross Chop. This is the point where I really wanted to switch, but the opponent had a Gligar. I wanted to boost my attack. I went for the Fell Stinger first, but then I should have gone for that Sludge Bomb at this point. Opponent will go for a Dig. It will definitely destroy me. But I decided last second I really wanted to bait out opponent and get a shield, but opponent didn't shielded it. And that was pretty terrible. Opponent went for another Dig. I shielded it. I wanted to bait once again. Maybe this time he would have shielded it. But his Fell Stinger still didn't KO'd. So I decided to go for another Fell Stinger. And this time opponent just shielded it. And I couldn't switch, so opponent could go for the Dig. And he had his Machamp. Just with 1 HP, he made it to a Rock Slide. And that KO'd me. Otherwise, I could maybe have won it. I don't really know, but yeah, it was a pretty sad match. Right now, into the third match of the second streak. I've already lost twice, so we have to win right now. We're going Greninja into Skarmory. Still, Skarmory is not a very comfortable team for my backline. So here I'm making a huge mistake. I should have thrown in my Poipole instead of my Toxapex, but it was just a little bit stressful. And if you look at the top left corner, it was after midnight, so I was a little bit tired. But yeah, I withstand this battle pretty easily. Opponent went for another Thunderbolt here. I decided to shield it. But I really wanted to save my Toxapex maybe for something later, so went for the Brine. Switched out into a simultaneous switch. I had to go here for the Fell Stinger to at least get a shield from the opponent. Nicely enough, I succeeded in that, and she went for a very strong Earthquake at me. So then Toxapex was pretty useless in this match, so I had to go into my Greninja. But however, I decided to go into my Toxapex that I still don't really understand why, but then my Greninja could go for some energy generation. I went for a Hydro Cannon that KO'd that thing. Went here for a back-to-back Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon 1 did quite some. And the Hydro Cannon number 2 went on the CMP, so that went perfectly. Another Hydro Cannon. But opponent with 1 HP had a shield. Or at least I mean a Thunderbolt loaded. And I really hoped it will be deserved, but it wasn't. So right now I already lost 3 times, and the streak wasn't the best one. So into the 4th match against Hills Nansen. We started really great. Greninja into Drifblim. I went straight for a Night Slash, but all Drifblim players really like to shield the first move, so he did it as well. Opponent went for into a Venusaur. I went for Toxapex. Not a problem. Sludge Bomb. I don't know why Sludge Bomb, so that was pretty interesting. I decided here to go for the Sludge Wave. That opponent shielded it. And somehow I thought maybe he did something weird, but his only move was a Sludge Bomb. I noticed at this point, so I just went for on the CMP. Maybe I didn't had to do that, so another Sludge Bomb. Should have gone for the undercharge, but it's fine. Opponent went for Greninja. He had to KO me, so he went, if I'm right, to the areaways. I think this one got. Yeah, I don't know why, but he got areaways. I went into Poipole. Opponent this time went for a Night Slash that I still don't know why. This is actually the first time I could really test the Poipole's bulkiness, and it's quite okay. I made here a very nice catch on my own Greninja. Opponent went for his own Night Slash, but that did quite some damage. But I made it to a back-to-back Night Slash. Could go here for the first Night Slash. That did okay amount of damage. And still I had a shield, so I was very happy with that. I could go for Poipole Farm Down, because it's still the Poipole video, but a Night Slash KO with Greninja is maybe better. So I right now into the last match of the second streak. 3 loses to 1 win, so I really wanted to win this one against Brillo. Greninja into a Scissor, very nice lead, because Scissor would absolutely destroy my team. This time, instead of going for Night Slash, I went for Hydro Cannon. That does massive damage. I wanted to switch after 1 Walter Shuriken, but unfortunately opponent went for X-Scissor, so I couldn't do much. Opponent went for a Gyarados. That was pretty interesting, but I have a really nice response for that. And that's my Toxapex. And because it's a waterfall Gyarados, I can just let it go. Opponent went for Outrage, but because of the bulkiness of Toxapex, it didn't do that much. So opponent went back with his Scissor, hoping to catch a move. At this point, he brought in a Crocalor, and I could go for 2 Poison Jabs, but I went somehow, I don't know why, for 1. So we went for Brine, that went okay. Opponent was allowed to KO me, I think with a Crunch, yes. And then Poipole, I went just for the entire Poison Jab farm down, and here I really wanted to test once again the bulkiness of Poipole. And it was pretty okay. It's more like you can tank 1 move, but not a really hard-hitting move. I think the bulkiness is quite equal to, I would say, maybe Greninja, maybe a little bit bulkier. Yeah, somewhere around that. Because it still did quite some. But I really liked that Pokemon overall. And right now into a very bad match against Clefable. I switched straight into my Poipole. I thought that her confusion went through, that I didn't throw an alignment, but luckily enough it went on alignment. Here I went for a Sludge Bomb after the first Fail Stinger. She hoped that I went for another Fail Stinger, but unfortunately she shielded it. I could go for CMP here, but I decided to let it go. But she got a blizzard that just completely destroyed me. I went here for a Night Slash that will be able to KO that Slow King. Then I switched into Toxapex and somehow she didn't brought in her Clefable, so... But an Scrafty. She went for Power Up Punch, but Scrafty isn't the best one against the Toxapex. But she still could go for that foul play attack, so I had to, be careful with that. Went for Sludge Wave. This was a pretty easy match to win, as you can see. And she just committed it. Then into the second match of the third streak. Against Tricksaver. We started really great against Berserker, but opponent switched out into an Alola Ninetales. I was very happy to catch that one because I have poison types in my team, so yeah, not a problem at all. Opponent went for Ice Beam. I could just very easily tank that. And at this point, I thought he would go for his Berserker return, but instead he went for I think an Acid Greninja that I really don't understand. But still, early battles are just sometimes a little bit awful. So he went into his own Berserker and he committed the match because he couldn't win anymore. Right now, third match of the third streak, 2 wins. So we had already 9 wins out of 12 matches, somewhere around that. So that was very okay. We started against Wigglytuff. I decided to go straight into Poipole, but opponent brought in an Drifblim. That was pretty painful. I went for Fell Stinger. Opponent nicely shielded it, and at this point, I knew that I had to go for the Sludge Bomb to deal at least some amount of damage, but opponent still shielded it. But that went okay. Opponent went for Shadow Ball, just let it go. This time on the CMP, I won the CMP. I could very easily go here for the Night Slash, and I hoped he would go for his Wigglytuff, but instead he went for his Hypno, and I don't know why he did that, because it was pretty awful. I went here for Sludge Wave. It almost KO'd that Shadow Hypno. Just a little bit of HP left. Opponent went back into Wigglytuff. I decided here to go for the Brine to KO that Wigglytuff before he will throw out a move. And then I thought I could just go for the Poison Jab farm down and win. So that were 3 wins already. And that went very nice. So right now into the fourth match of the third streak. Against Surbigan. We started Greninja into Chargerbug, but this is a legend player because of the post. So yeah, Chargerbug was pretty uncomfortable Pokemon. I had to switch into my Toxapex because I didn't want it to throw in my Poipole because he would have switched into another one and I will be dead in the back. So I decided to go for another Brine here. Opponent let this one go, unfortunately. And then he switched out into a Tentacruel. So I had to go... Yeah, I was just a little bit thinking here. And I went here for a Greninja on the CMP. It was my best option. Went for a Night Slash. And I thought opponent will go just for an Acid Spray. So why not just let it go? Acid Spray. I lost my defense, so I had to go here for a Night Slash. It almost KO'd. Then I brought back into my Poipole. And right now I really thought about shielding it. So just the last, I don't know, a nanosecond or something like that. I just pressed that shield. An opponent right now in the back had a Gallade. Its new Pokemon, Shadow Gallade, with a new move. I went here for Sludge Bomb that KO'd that Gallade, the Shadow Gallade. But then only the Charger Bug was in the back. I had to shield this move. The opponent made it to a back-to-back, and he went for another X-Scissor here. And I went here for an Fell Stinger, I don't know why. But yeah, I've won once again, so that's very nice. That made it already to 4 wins here, so 11 wins at total. Right now into the last match of this video against Hunt Bird or something like that. We're starting really great against Clodsire. Opponents switched out into Mantine. So I had to go here for Night Slash to deal a little bit amount of chip damage. Switching into Toxapex. This was very comfortable. Opponent went for Ice Beam. Not a problem at all. I will just let this go once again. Opponent went for this time for an Aerial Ace. A little bit better move. At this point, I made once again a mistake. I just had to let the move go, but I decided to go for a Brine. I don't know why, just to lose a ton of energy. But so I decided to undercharge it completely, and then just go for the Poison Chip far down. That went perfectly. So opponent brought into, I think, a Shadow Furligator. Yes, and that was a pretty awful one because he had a new move, Shadow Claw. And I couldn't do much against it, so I decided to go, why not, into Poipole. Just throw in my Poipole. He would go for a very strong Hydro Cannon that went just completely bad. I decided then to let this Hydro Cannon go. Opponent switched into a Clodsire, very aggressive switch. I went for a Hydro Cannon here. That did quite some damage. Right now I just needed to shield it, otherwise I will be dead. With Sludge Bomb. I went for a Night Slash, but opponent, I think, shielded it. That was very uncomfortable. And he could just outpace me with another Sludge Bomb, and that will KO my Greninja. So the only Pokemon I had left is a Poipole against super effective damage from that Clodsire's Mud Shot. So Sludge Bomb wasn't just enough to KO that Clodsire, and I've lost the last match. But a total, very nice. Claim my rank. Got a very nice Polyred here that I caught. And yeah, it was pretty bad. I didn't need it. And I claimed my rank, and we went into rank 7. So that's very nice. So guys, at the end, we've made it to 10 wins. That's quite okay, in my opinion. And yeah, further than that, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely press that like, subscribe button, because this month, March, I really want to make 400 subscribers, and I can only do that with your help. So definitely press that like, subscribe button, and then hopefully you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.